Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, October 6th. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you so much for joining with us and tuning in again this week. Now, if you recall, back right after Labor Day when we came back from our short hiatus, I predicted that we were in for a very, very busy fall, and this past week is a clear indication of that. Since last Friday's Teletown Hall, we have been super busy. I want to start off by thanking those of you, the more than 4,100 members who chose to participate in last Friday's Teletown Hall event. You made sure that event featuring Prim Board's Executive Director and Chief Investment Officer Michael Trotsky was widely successful. We have really positive feedback from Michael and his team at Prim following the meeting. Got a lot of really positive feedback from those of you who participated, who asked questions, who sent in questions to us in advance. It just made for a really informative and interesting meeting, and I hope that you got as much out of it as all of us did. As much as I do this and our team does this every single day, we're still learning, and just listening to an expert like Michael Trotsky for more than an hour present what processes and procedures Prim uses to safeguard your retirement assets, and then taking the time to answer your questions. It was really informative, and we're looking forward to having more Teletown Hall meetings like that in the future, where we're going to bring in some expert guest speakers that we might not normally get access to in terms of an in-person meeting, but virtual events make that a lot easier. So thank you. Keep an eye on your newsletter for upcoming events. While I'm at it, just a reminder, next Friday, we will be back down in Plymouth, where I grew up. And this will be our first visit to Plymouth for Mass Retirees meetings since before the pandemic began in the fall of 2019. So it's been 4 years. We are super excited to get back down to America's hometown. The meeting kicks off at 11 a.m. at the 1620 Hotel, right down the waterfront. It's the old Sheraton Hotel, right next to Village Landing. Hopefully the weather will be beautiful, so it will make it a great afternoon to be down on the Plymouth waterfront. And we're looking forward to seeing all of you there. As you all know, page 3 of the Mass Retirees newsletter always contains our calendar of upcoming events. Our November newsletter is at the printer as I speak. Hopefully it will be in the mail on its way to all of you by next Friday, but I'll have an update for you on what I believe is the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, next week, and something to look forward to. So let me jump right into what we've been involved in this week. And as I said, it has been a super busy whirlwind of a week. We started off earlier this week out in Springfield for the annual fall convention of the Mass Association of Contributory Retirement Systems, better known as MACRS. MACRS is the organization that represents all of the public employee retirement systems across Massachusetts. So all 104 systems participate in MACRS along with the Prim Board, so making a total of 105 different entities who are involved in MACRS in some way, shape, or form. In addition to being an advocacy organization on behalf of public retirement systems, MACRS also plays a very important and key function in terms of continuing education and being one of the listed entities with, right in Chapter 32, the retirement law, that allows MACRS to be a provider of continuing education credits for retirement board members. Part of the reform that was passed, almost 15 years ago now, if you can believe it, requires retirement board members here in Massachusetts to receive continuing education on an annual basis. It's one of the requirements of being a board member. And it has really led to a more professional, well-run retirement system here in the Commonwealth that is really second to none around the country. Not to disparage some of our friends in the other states, and I know I'm biased, but I believe we do things better here in Massachusetts in that regard than many other locations around the country. And the results and the types of things that Michael Trotsky was talking about last week are evidence of that. So in addition to attending the conference, both Tom Bonarigo, our legislative chairman, and Nancy McGovern, our legislative liaison, participated in the conference. They both had speaking roles. They were joined by State Representative Mike Finn from the town of West Springfield, along with State Senator John Velist from Westfield in terms of the legislative presentation that they made, which was very well attended. Very happy that we continue to have an active role in Macris and working with them and providing valuable resources and information to board members, because we all know just how important that is. So that was Monday and Tuesday. Now, just yesterday on Thursday, our association played a key role in the first of its kind educational forum for our local public employee committee members and our local insurance advisory committee members. This meeting was hosted and facilitated by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Massachusetts. In addition to our association, we were joined by the Mass Teachers Association, the American Federation of Teachers Massachusetts, and our friends at the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts for a morning event. Started at 8 a.m. and it lasted until about noontime. We had about 50 or 60 public employee and IAC members from across the state, along with insurance professionals and healthcare professionals and union leadership. It was really informative, interesting conversation. I cannot thank our friends at Blue Cross enough for their willingness to step forward and not only host the event, but help us put this together. And to Blue Cross's credit, right from the very first conversation we had about the potential of doing this last spring, they made it very clear that in no way, shape, or form did they want this to be any kind of a sales pitch on behalf of Blue Cross. And it was anything but that. We talked about everything from the GIC to all of the various joint purchasing groups across Massachusetts, which many of them do hold their health insurance through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. But this was not an opportunity for Blue Cross to make a sales pitch, even though the meeting did take place at their Quincy offices. But without their support at the local level and without their continued involvement in terms of helping to educate and inform those of us who are involved in public employee and public retiree health insurance benefits and the negotiation of those benefits at the local level, without Blue Cross's involvement, quite honestly, we would be a lot worse shape than we are right now. And the same can be said at the state level when it comes to Unicare and some of our partners who provide benefits through the GIC. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare. To us, we have always taken a very agnostic view in terms of which health insurance plans or purchasing groups or processes might be the best fit in any particular city and town. What's important is to have a robust option of varying health plans, varying opportunities to ensure local retirees and local employees that are affordable, that are very high quality, and that are accessible throughout the state. And that's what we're getting here in Massachusetts, and we're very fortunate for that. But yesterday's event was an opportunity for us to help to inform and educate and provide knowledge to our local retirees and active employee representatives who are negotiating on your behalf at the local bargaining table when it comes to health insurance. And we're going through a little bit of a calm period or a lull for the past couple of years across the Commonwealth when it comes to any real suggestion of making major changes to your health insurance benefits. But if history is any guide, we know that that's not going to last forever, and we need to be prepared, particularly at the local level where some of our local retirees are the most vulnerable to changes being made against your will and just sort of being forced down everyone's throat at the last minute. It really depends on well-informed and prepared local representatives who have your back and who have the knowledge and the ability to fight the good fight at the local level, and we're happy to play a part in that. And we're very pleased of the turnout we had yesterday and the feedback that we're getting. And between the labor representatives who participated and the officials from Blue Cross Blue Shield, Paul Sweeney, Chris May, Steve Dion, they're all executives with Blue Cross who we work with day in and day out to represent our local retirees. And there are already some plans being put in place for future PEC and IAC forums to take place in other parts of Massachusetts. So that went really well. You'll see further information on this in our newsletter. And if any of you who are PEC or IAC representatives who were not able to attend yesterday's meeting, if you would like a copy of those meeting materials, reach out to Nancy McGovern and we can get that information to you. I know that we have been in communication with quite a few of our PEC representatives from across the state. And remember, Mass Retirees statutorily has the responsibility of appointing the local retiree representative to sit at the table and be your voice when it comes to bargaining health insurance benefits. But we know, because we've heard from quite a few people who would have loved to attend yesterday's meeting but just weren't able to make it for one reason or another. So if that includes you, reach out to us, give Nancy a shout, and we'll get you those materials and we'll keep you informed going forward. Now, in today's email blast from me contains some information that was provided to us by Michael Trotsky and the PRIM board. We had some inquiries from members of resources for all of you. If you do want to learn more either about the functions of PRIM or just best practices and general investing practices and learning the lingo and so forth, because it can be pretty confusing. And it's also something that I know some of you are interested in. Well, in today's email message that comes along with this video to all of our members, there was a link to continuing education resources that some of you might be interested in, along with a link to PRIM's own website, which also contains additional information that's available for free. The course that is linked in today's email, there's a fee attached to that because it is an official entity that's providing those types of certificates to those who participate in the program. And finally, just yesterday, we began our fall Political Action Committee drive. I think all of you are aware by now that Mass Retirees also has a political arm. It's the Public Employees, Public Retirees Political Action Committee. We just simply refer to it as the Retirees PAC. Now, it is a Massachusetts-based PAC, meaning that the sole purpose, focus, function of the PAC is to operate here in Massachusetts. That means that it is not a federal PAC. We cannot make contributions to federal candidates for Congress or President or the U.S. Senate, or we can also not spend our PAC donations on federal issues. So it has nothing to do with Social Security, WEP, and GPO, and anything outside of Massachusetts is prohibited by law. It is strictly a Massachusetts PAC. And how do we use it? Well, quite simply, we use it on your behalf. First of all, we use it to support candidates for public office who have a proven record of supporting public retirees. That means voting on issues that are of direct importance to retirees, like the COLA, like health insurance benefits, filing bills on your behalf, stepping up at the local level to support local retirees when it comes to things like raising the COLA base, for instance. Those sort of things are the criteria we use, really the only criteria that we use in terms of deciding who to support and who not to support for public office. Party affiliation, positions on issues that are not directly related to you as a public retiree are not part of our decision-making process. That is not relevant to our mission here at Mass Retirees. In addition to supporting candidates, we also use the Political Action Committee to support member education, our area meetings, the teletown halls, really any type of member engagement through public means over the internet. Again, our area meetings, those sorts of things, individual mailings here in Massachusetts from time to time. Those are the types of activities that the PAC is called upon to help to support. It really plays a critical function in our overall mission here at Mass Retirees and our day-to-day work. And it is a separate legal entity from the association. So we rely strictly on voluntary donations from our members or others to help support the PAC. So if you have not yet donated in 2023, you will be receiving a letter signed by myself in the coming days. In today's email blast, there is also a link. If you have not yet donated, or even if you have and you'd like to donate again, we more than welcome that, but we're not asking for that. You've already very generously supported the PAC this year, but we're certainly not going to say no, I'll put it that way. But in today's email, there's a link to the secure donation on the massretirees.com website if you'd like to contribute electronically. Also, you could just simply mail a check to us here at 11 Beacon. That information is also included in today's email message, and it will be included in a letter that you will soon receive from me. So thank you so much for being a member of our association. If you live on the South Shore, if you're going to be in the Plymouth area, next Friday, please come on by the 1620 Hotel at 11 a.m. Say hello. We will be out in Western Mass in Pittsfield the following week, as well as West Springfield at the Sterotown Tavern once again. So with that, I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you so much for your continued support. Be well, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye, everybody.